Hey guys, Erin here with Southern Girl Exotics. Welcome back to my channel. So we are still in January of 2024, the new year. So what a better time to do a video that's going to be more of a personal video about me, less educational. But I want to do a video just kind of giving y'all insight into my goals, my breeding plans for 2024, and just talk about what I am hoping to accomplish. And we'll see at the end of the year if I meet those goals. Of course, I'm hoping to bring you guys along on the different things that I am hoping to do this year. So we will conquer 2024 together. But it's an awesome time to start thinking about goals. If you are following your favorite breeders, I'm sure you are seeing a lot of us are posting our upcoming little snippets of our upcoming breeding plans, what we have in the works, what we're going to start pairing. Some people are already pairing. It's a really exciting time of year. I've got a ton of amazing animals I'll be releasing this year as well. I killed it last year with my crested geckos. Super excited for y'all to see some of the listings, tricolors, extremes, high pattern, yellow animals. I killed it last year. I am so proud of my crested gecko groups last year. However, a lot of goals for me are changing this year. I think it's really important as a breeder that we pay attention to the different markets, especially if you're working with different species. I think it's important for you to always kind of do a mental rundown of how much space you have, what you can afford to keep. Absolute worst situation, if you get stuck, are you going to be able to house, feed, afford all of these animals that you're producing? I am probably at my max capacity. I am going into this season assuming the market is going to be just like last year. However, I can always put pairs together later in the season if I do see that for myself. But as of right now, I'm going to be tweaking a lot of things for 2024. Gargs are obviously going to be my #1 focus this year, as they have been the last few years. They are just, I've said it in every video that pertains to them, Gargs are just my favorite. I just have a unique infatuation and passion for this species. So they are going to be my #1 focus. I am going to be starting my lychees this year. I have been in no hurry to start breeding lychees. I have been intimidated by it partly, but I also just wanted to make sure I was very familiar with the species. I've had my one female. This will be now 5 years I've had her. And last year and the year before, I started buying males and a couple other females to kind of grow out so that I could really kind of start working with breeding. So this year I'm only putting one pair together. African fat tails, I am going to shelf this year. I did not pair up any of my African fat tails. I do still have some babies growing out from last year. I do have some other projects that I have been considering for a couple years now that I kind of want to move into and I think are going to be more manageable for me. Plus, they aren't oversaturated markets. Like, I want to get into knobtails. If y'all watched my intro video, the very first video I ever uploaded, then you met Nipples, my knobtail that I've had for many, many years. They are an adorable, underrated species. So I have been thinking for a good couple of years now that I want to add them. I do want to kind of jump into the higher end morphs, like the albinos, smooth tails. So we'll see. We'll see exactly how money goes this year, if I'm going to be able to afford and comfortably add other projects, but that is my goal. But I am super stoked about my knobtail journey to hopefully start this year. I also have my Europlatus I need to get going. I've been growing out my females for a couple years now. I have had the worst luck with wild-caught males. I think this year I'm going to try to find them at shows. The wild-caught female Mossy that I have, I got her at a show. I didn't have her shipped in from a breeder that had, or seller that had already had her imported, and I think that is part of the problem with the males I were getting. They were being imported and then they're being shipped again to me, and I think it's just a lot of stress and it just makes them sickly. But that is on my list this year to get going. So hopefully by middle of the year at least, I will be making videos on that, and by the end of the year we'll be celebrating me hitting some of my goals. Crested geckos, I am going to shelf all my crested geckos this year. I'm not going to stop breeding crested geckos. Like I said, I had an amazing year with them last year, but I am going to probably downsize quite a bit on my breeders again, and I have a ton of grow outs that I don't want to part with. So I may be keeping a lot of babies and letting go of quite a few of ready to breed adults. And I think I'm only going to breed 2 dark pairs. I have not got to really start working on my dark projects yet. So I am stoked to get that going this year. But as far as my crested geckos, the majority of them are all going to be shelved except for 2 pairings. So I don't know if the market looks amazing. I know a lot of people have jumped ship, freaked out last year. So hopefully the oversaturation is going to go down. Hopefully, with the market crashing the way it is, it's going to scare a lot of these newer breeders that just want to bulk buy so that they can produce a bunch of junk to put on the market. So hopefully this year is going to be better. And if it is, I can put some more pairings together later in the year. Crested geckos are fluent breeders. I shouldn't have any problem no matter when I try to breed them. But a lot of fun things I'm going to try to get started this year, as well as, like I said, my main focus being these guys as number 1. I am super excited to move into my blotches this year. That is going to be like my main focus. I've been toying with blotches the last couple of years, but I haven't really had the quality grown out that I have this year. So I am stoked to see what my blotch pairings are going to produce this year. I typically haven't done a lot of repeat pairings, even if I know that they're killing it, because I wanted to see what all of my grow outs and other animals are able to produce, so I know which ones are going to be able to kill it and which ones I should maybe let go for other people to try in their projects. But this year I'm going to be doing a lot of repeat pairings that are y'all's favorites, that are my favorites. So by 2025, just stop. It's going to be an amazing year with animals I'm going to have to be released to you guys. So a lot of changes, a lot of fun stuff for 2024. Super excited. Now we're going to go, and I want to show you guys some of my pairings for this year. Just give you a little snippet. Of course, I'm not going to go through all my pairings, but I'm super stoked to kind of show off what I have in the works for you guys. Again, if you guys like the video, definitely give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, definitely subscribe. Yeah, and I will see you guys at the end of the video. Thanks for watching. All right, guys, so let's start by showing off my 2 measly pairings of crested geckos. I know it's not super exciting and elaborate like a lot of people are doing with their crested geckos this year, but it's a project that I am really been excited about starting, so I'm definitely going to go ahead with that this year. Like I mentioned in the intro, I could always add more pairs together if I decide that enough is selling and moving that I can make room and focus on some other projects that I was working with. But the dark project, I have been growing these geckos out for a little while, so I was really not willing to put that off for another year. All right, so here is one of the females. She is a really beautiful animal. Come over here, see if you guys can see her better. Really, really beautiful animal. The lighting makes her look a little more yellow, but she's definitely more cream on the sides and the back. All right, she is going to be paired with this fella, who is a complete spaz. So hopefully he'll let me show him off for a few minutes. But again, let's see. Yeah, he's looking a little more brown than dark in the lighting, but really beautiful animals, both of them. He's definitely more of a white cream versus her yellowish cream, but nonetheless, I'm excited. I think it's going to be a super fun project. Like I said, I've got one more pair that I'll show you that we'll be doing, but I think these 2 are probably 2 of my favorite of the 2 pairings that we'll be doing. This is going to be my second dark pairing. This is my charcoal male. A lot hasn't really been done with charcoals, so I am looking forward to exploring charcoals and lily whites and see how the two genes work together. I know some people say that they get kind of like a soft scale look and feel. So I'm looking forward to see what that might be. I am going to be pairing him to Apple Bottom, one of my red lilies. She's fired down now, but she is a beautiful crisp red color when she's fired up. And I think they'll be a pretty little pairing. All right, guys, so real quick, I'm going to show you my little measly one lychee pairing that I am going to be pairing this year. No, I am not going to take either one of them out because they are both extreme assholes, and considering that they are going to be paired this weekend, I don't want to aggravate them any more than they possibly already are going to be when I move them in together. However, I will put some pictures up here so that you can see a close-up of both of them. They both are big, beautiful GTs, but they are mean as sin. So that may be a match made in heaven, or it may be the worst thing that I could ever do. But Dejin is a beautiful high color GT, and Bitch Face, yes, that's her name. She is a beautiful high coverage GT. So I'm hoping putting the two together, we're going to get a little mix of both traits. If not, we'll just see. Again, I'm not as familiar with breeding them yet because I have not started breeding them yet. So I don't really know what to expect. But I'm looking forward to learning as I go and adding this species into our my goals of producing down the lines. All right, so this is Dejin. He is my high color. He is incredibly mean. Anytime I get too close, he'll start doing backflips trying to bite me. But nonetheless, he has really got some stunning reds on him. And this right here is Bitch Face. Let's see. There she is. She typically does not let me get this close without starting to whip that head around and act crazy. But as you can see, she's really a beautiful high pattern animal. She does have like some faded purples. It's hard to see with my flash on. Flash really ruins the color on the animals I'm trying to show you, but we just don't have good lighting in here. All right, just for fun, I'm going to show you guys one of my Europlatus fimbriatus females. I really love this girl. I love this species. She is just massive. They are really a big species. When you see them online, they look so much smaller, but in person, it's really, really cool how big they are. She is a display pet. Let's see if I can get her out. Like I said, you can tell I don't handle her very much, hence why she is so jumpy. But they are beautiful, beautiful animals. They have incredible eyes. I love the little bearded look that they have. They look like they have little beards. But she is just an amazing species. I am so excited to get her breeding and possibly make some babies. All right, now let's move on to the gargoyle geckos, the animals that you probably follow any of my social media accounts to see. I show them off plenty, but I am so excited about this coming breeding season. So let's take a look first at this pairing down here. So Wreckage, this is Wreckage. She bred last year, but I put her with a stripe. So this year, she's going with the blotch. Where are you, buddy? Probably. All right, so let's take a little look at this pair. So we've got Wreckage, my female. She fires up a really beautiful orangey red when she's fired up. And then we have Riot. Riot paired with a female last year that had way less blotching than Wreckage does, and they produced one of my favorite blotches last year. So this year is going to be his year to shine. It'll be his second year breeding. And like I said, he is going to be in a trio, but these two just got paired up. So it'll be about another month before the other cage mate gets thrown in there. This is Wreckage. This is her one production from last year. She gave me 3 clutches, 1 egg in each clutch. The other 2 went bad. They never even hatched. And this was the only one that hatched. This is going to be the other lady he's going to be paired up with. So that is Siren. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, squeakers. Did you hear her squeak? So all together, I think we're going to have a very, very, very successful blotch season this year. So this is Rash. He is going to be in his second year of breeding this year. Last year, I bred him to a smaller female stripe. And to be honest, I wasn't very happy with their kids. The female was badass, so I really expected some good coverage. As they grow out, I'm hoping to see at least some color quality, but I think he will do better with how deep red and dark base he is. All right, so he is going to be paired to Hemorrhage. They both have incredible red. He's not too bad in coverage. He's probably mediocre, not my favorite. I would definitely, anything I'm going to hold back or keep typically is going to have a lot more color than that. But the richness of his red and the color, the deep vibrancy of his red is what I really wanted to breed him for. And if I'm being honest, I don't have any other males that are up to par red color-wise than him. So and hopefully the two of these guys together will have an amazing season. We will see. I'm pretty excited about it. So this is Stain. I produced him 3 years ago. He was a little runt baby, but he's grown to have some really pretty color. And this will be his first year breeding. Stain is going to be breeding with Arson, one of my best blotches. Burgie's produced this girl, and neither one of us expected her to be so incredible. So these two together, I think, are going to make 2 very beautiful pairings. All right, so let's take a look at one of my main males. This is my probably best producing male that I have. This is Crayola. Crayola is a 5-year-old male. He actually is orange now. You can see he's very orange. When I got him for the first 3.5 years of life, he was a vibrant red animal. Nonetheless, this boy right here produces killer animals every time. His repeat pairings this year is going to be Saffron. She's another Burgie Get-Goyle production, but these 2 killed it a couple years ago when they were paired up. They also gave me quite a few skeletons, so I am hoping to get a few more out of them. This is Bloody Mary. She has lost a ton of color since she started breeding, especially in her dorsal area. She doesn't even look like the same gecko she was before she started breeding. Nonetheless, she produces some of the best animals I've ever produced, and she will be repaired with Crayola again this year. These are 2 of their offspring. This male right here is ready to breed this year, and he's got an insane orange base. And ooh-wee! Rampage was produced by Bloody Mary and Crayola, and she is one of my favorites. Just incredible. Now, since we have this boy out, and he will be breeding this year as a new breeder, we might as well move on to that section. And this is another new female that I've been growing out for a couple years that he will be paired with. These two should make some insane orange six stripes. And if we get real lucky, they will all have, or at least a lot of them will have that orange base that he has, which is unlike any other orange gargs I've seen. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks so much for watching, for supporting, etc., etc. I am super excited about this year. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing a little snippet at what I got in store. I do have a couple other pairings I'm keeping to myself right now. I can't give away all the goodies of what to expect, but I am super stoked to be hatching animals this year, especially my gargoyle geckos. I think it is going to be the best year yet. Wishing you all an amazing start to 2024. I hope you all hit your goals, your ambitions. Get out there and do whatever it is you have been procrastinating doing and make it happen this year. It's going to be a great year for all of us. Thumbs up the video, definitely subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and then I will see you guys here next week for another fun video. Have an amazing week, guys.